Well, hello again. It is early Thursday morning and we're heading back to the shop. I'm ready for another day of working on the old jukebox. So we can get our lights on. Let's get this hot outside already. Oh man, it's like in the 80s. And it's only like 10:30. Let's go ahead and crank up the old AC and see what we can do. I took our grandson John down to Little Rock again for more training on his sparring camp that he's going through, which is a really intensive thing. I mean, it's just terrible. The philosophy of the instructors, which are all masters, they're master black belts, 6 degrees, and their philosophy is train easy. How do they put it? Training easy, hard to win. Training hard, easy to win. I'll tell you what, boy, they run them through the mill. Yesterday it was a 14-hour day of sparring. 14 hours. John came home, he was on his last legs, but he said he loved every minute of it. He's learned so much. If he wants to be a world champion next year, he's going to have to train hard so he can win easy. Well, let's get back to what we were doing here. I found the old tube bag that was the jukebox. I have all the jukebox tubes in, and inside there I put the keys to the jukebox. These are all the tubes that were good. They all tested good, so we're pretty good so far. Let's get the keys out and see if we can figure out what the keys go to. There's supposed to be keys, I think, to the cash box door on the side. We'll open it up and find out. But meanwhile, before we do that, let's answer a couple of questions here. One of our good subscribers has offered to recreate these labels that are on this jukebox. These are in pretty rough shape. As you can see, a piece already broke off of this one, and there's a crack down the middle of this one, so I'm not sure how I'm going to go about getting that off. When the time comes, it's a little too early right now, but when the time comes, I'll confer with that good subscriber, and we'll figure out how to do this. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that off. I may have. This is glass too. This is not plastic. It is glass, so we're gonna have to handle it. I don't know, maybe a scan. Who knows? We'll let him tell me what to do. I'll clean the glass. Might be able to scan it, send it to him. There may be 1 or 2 other labels. I'll work with him in detail when the time comes, and I'll let you all know. The next thing was the question was, John, you know, first it was, do I have any baggies? You know, and then yes, I have baggies, and then there was what was the other question? I can't even remember what it was now. Do I have this? Or yes, I have that. And then another good subscriber says, well, do you have Q-tips? You'll never give me a break. Yes, I got 2 Q-tips. I got Q-tips. I keep them in this soap dish, and in case they're not long enough, I got the long ones. Yes, I have it all. I have. Oh yeah, I know what it was. Do you have pipe cleaners? That's what it was. And do you use baggies? So there we go. We also have Q-tips. Does that take care of it all? All right, let's go with the next comment. Was about these those little copper springs. Let me see, where are they? I got them all in the baggie right now, these little copper springs. You know, Ron C., our good subscriber down there in Florida, who's building the AM transmitter right now, he said, you know, maybe these were grounding springs. Well, not really, because the knobs, or the push buttons, they're all plastic, so that eliminated that idea right there pretty much. Another person came up and said, well, I'll tell you what they're for. I thought they might have been just, you know, to grease and give, you know, when the knob has a pivot point, you know, it gave it a grease up underneath there, so the bottom of the bottom part of the push button right in here that rests against those right here. That rests against those little copper things wouldn't wear out too fast. Now, it was my idea, but it was probably wrong also. Anyway, another feller came up, one of our good subscribers. He says what they are, they're anti-rattle springs. They keep the knobs from rattling, I guess, when the jukebox was playing low bass sounds. Well, that makes a lot of sense. It makes more sense than the stuff I came up with. So that's what we're going to call them. We're going to call them anti-rattle springs or anti-rattle clips. That's what they are from now on. That's it. Case closed. By the way, here's another one of those labels that I can hopefully get out. and add it to this one here when the time comes. And there might be one other, I don't know. We'll see. Right now, let's get the keys to see if we can open up the cash box and see if there's anything in there. Well, the keys do not fit the cash box door on the bottom right hand side. Let's see if it fits the lid. Spin this baby around. It doesn't fit that either, so there's only one thing left that can fit, and that's broken and it's gone. On the rear is your door that swings open. They had a lock on it also, so that's probably what the keys were for, but the lock is broken and gone off the door. Now the mechanism is there, but the outside part is broken off and gone. So somebody probably broke it off in order to get in here because they didn't have the keys, or the key didn't work, or I don't know. Tell you what, let's get back to ripping and tearing. We've got a lot left to do. Let's make it happen. To take off this large grill cover here, which is made out of plastic, these three crowns are going to have to come off too, because they're used to hold it on as well, and they're bolted in from the rear. There's 3 bolts on each one. Let's take a look at that. There's the first set, second set, and the third set is up on top up there. So let me go ahead and get those off. Those are made out of plastic also. The grill is plastic and the crowns are plastic. My arms aren't long enough to reach all the way around and hold each one of these things while I take the bolts out. So I've laid down a bunch of towels, and I'll just take the bolts out. They'll fall down on the towels and they should not break. Well, that worked okay. Nothing got broken. They fell right out on the towels as expected. Now, unfortunately, one of the screws was missing, and one of them, I have 3, 3, and 3, or 3, 3, and 2 rather. And I'll have to try to pick one up later. Right now, you know what we got to do? Yes, we do. Stay disciplined. We got to put the screws back in the holes. The next item on the agenda for getting loose this thing here is we got to take these screws out. They're already loose from something else I had already removed earlier, so I can take them out by hand. But the problem is over here, you can see. Now this was done at the factory because it still has the original paint on it. They put a nail here, and they also put a nail here with the head of the nail holding down this thing here. It looks like it had a screw in there at one time also. Well, fun and games goes on, huh? Let's get all this crap out, get this bar off. And also down here, in order to get this loose, there is a flathead screw here, which is not original, as you will soon see. And there is a Phillips head over here, which is original. So those 2 screws will also have to come out. Let me get all that done, and then we'll see how loose this baby becomes, if it becomes loose at all. The top screws are out. The 2 corner screws are out. That just leaves me with these nails. It's kind of interesting. I want to make sure I get those nails out without causing any damage to the bracket. So, what's a good way to do that? Well, at first I thought maybe that would help, but then I decided, nah, that's not good, that's no good, we can't use that, so let's get rid of that. I think what I'm going to do is go out in my toolbox out in the garage, see if I can find something really flat to just barely get underneath the edge there, and lift it up and then pull it out with a pair of pliers. Let's see what I can come up with. Well, what immediately popped into my brain when I got out there and I was rummaging through the drawers was this jeweler's screwdriver. Real skinny on the end. Hopefully it'll be strong enough. I don't need to pull it out with it. I just need to get it up out of the wood far enough so I can grab a hold of it with this pair of pliers. So let's get it underneath the head here and see if I can't get that thing to come up just enough. I may have to get a larger jeweler's screwdriver. I don't know. Well, it seems to be coming up. Yes, it does. Yes, it is. She is coming up. Alright, now let's get a hold of it with the pair of pliers. Kind of twist if I can get it. Might not be far enough out yet. May have to come out just a little bit more. Come on, baby. I want you all to see this from beginning to end, just to let you know what I go through for you guys. The suffering I have to endure. There we go. There we go. You see, we always win, people. We always win. Alright, now that that excruciatingly laborious task is done, let's see if we can't remove this rail. Well, of course, well, she's loose on one side. I bet you it's just the grunge and the crud and the crap that's holding it in. I don't think there's another. I may have to wind up taking this out of the way in order to lift it straight up. I'll bet you that's the problem. Let me go ahead and take this out. Well, I took the one off on the left first. I'm glad I did. Look at this thing. It's all boogered in on the bottom. I'm going to have to straighten that out with a pair of pliers or something. This is stainless steel. I don't know how that happened. Kind of weird, huh? It was up here. Got banged. So we'll go ahead and straighten that baby out. Let's go ahead and take this one off. This one here appears to be okay. Let's get this one off now. Alright, both of those are off. And now before we go any further, the first thing we do is put our screws back in the hole. You've got to stay disciplined about that. You must stay disciplined. Never get in a rush on this stuff. Never. I mean, this thing is from 1960. There's two things I want you to understand. This thing is from 1961, and it has never been restored, cleaned, probably never even really been fully repaired. It may have been functional for a time anyway. So what's another 2 or 3 or 4 months or even 5 months to get it looking good and playing right? It makes no difference, okay? So we're never in a hurry, never. I had an old boy tell me that one time when I first started repairing radios. He said, he didn't tell it to me, he told it to everybody in general. He said, you know, that radio hasn't worked for probably 50 years. Do you really think another 2 months is going to make any difference? That was Curt Reed from the Antique Radio Forum, who's now deceased, unfortunately. He was, Curt really was one that helped me immensely. He had so much patience, you know. Now, with some things, he had no patience at all. Everybody who knew Curt Reed, he was an old ham radio, and his slogan was connoisseur of the cold 501. If you don't know what a 501 is in ham speak, look it up. Anyway, let's get these screws back in, and then we'll try to lift this bar off. By the way, that oh, the second thing. What was the second thing I was going to tell you? Well, it was so important I plumb forgot about it. Oh, I know what it is. Like always, if I'm all, you know, what if I got to lose with this jukebox? Now, some of you say, geez, you know, it's hard, I can't do it, might not get it back together. The hardest part is getting it back together. No, it's not. I got every video in the world to help me here. If it doesn't work when we get it back together, we've cleaned it, we've greased it, we've cleaned the contacts, checked everything that we could, put in new tubes, new caps were necessary, changed out any bad resistors, cleaned it top to bottom, made it look spiffy, and it doesn't work. What's the big deal? It doesn't work now. We'll just go back in and keep at it until it does work, because I've told you a million times, those of you who keep up with my videos, we always fix it. It may take a day, a month, a year, but we always fix it. Alright, let's go ahead and, by the way, this thing here will be straightened out not with a regular pair of pliers. That, my friends, is a job for duckbill pliers that have no teeth. We'll cover that later on when it comes time. And incidentally, it will never go back to where it's nice and flat like this one right here. There will always be a few wrinkles in it, because metal stretches when it bends. A pair of duckbills is what we need for that. Let's see if this will come off now. Well, there it goes. Incidentally, all these things, they had to come off anyway. Look at, they were really grungy. Look at the dirt and crap down in there. Years and years and years of crud. Cool, huh? And this thing here is messed up. Now let me play around with this thing and see if I can, maybe it just slides right out from the top. I don't know. Let me find out. Well, it won't slide out from the top. That doesn't mean it won't. Now there's a sentence for you, huh? It won't slide out from the top right now because it has staples holding it. 1, 2, 3 there. And there's another one there. I'm going to have to get those staples out. It'd be just my luck there's going to be staples down here as well. I hope not. Let me get the staples out one step at a time, people. The staples came out pretty easy. All I had to do was grab a hold of them real tight on the head with the pliers and just pull. They're very short, not very long at all. They came right out. And I had just made a discovery. Just made a discovery. All along I've been saying this is plastic. Wrong. Look at this. Once we got that bar off of there, I hadn't even noticed until now. That is aluminum. That's an aluminum grill. Isn't that the coolest thing, huh? I wonder why they didn't go with plastic. Alright, let's see what I can do about getting the rest out without damaging it. Now that it's metal, I know it's metal, I'm going to have to take really big precautions. I don't need to be bending aluminum. You'll never get it back the way it was. Never. Well, it won't come out from the top, but not a problem. That just means I'm going to have to remove a whole lot more around it and take it out from the front. So we'll start with these stainless steel runners that go all the way down here, decorative edge runners. I just took a look at it. I don't see anything holding them in except what was holding it in on top that I removed, and down here, this little bracket here, which I've already loosened it by taking out that screw here, this thing should just pop right off. There. I'll tell you what, I'm beginning to understand these Seeburg boys minute by minute. Let's try the other one. Be careful now. This is the kind of stuff you don't want to. You don't want to muscle any of this stuff. It's been around since the 60s. Don't be the guy that screws it up. All right. Meanwhile, let's get our screws back in. Discipline, discipline. Put these screws back in like so. And then I'll try to remove something else. I found another staple here, right there. I got it out and the whole thing sprung loose from the wood, that was a good sign, okay? So what now? Well, I think we're going to have to take off that thing down there, which means this whole jukebox is going to have to go over on its side. Take the screws off. There's some screws under the bottom that hold these corner brackets on right here. And speaking of screws, I showed you a while ago, one was a flathead and one was a Phillips. We're going to go ahead and keep the Phillips. We're going to get rid of this flathead. I'm going to, when it comes time, I'll check our local hardware store, see if we can come up with something chromed or gold or something that looks just like that. That'd be kind of neat. Hopefully, when we get those two corner brackets off, this thing will come out. If it doesn't, I don't know. What do we do then? Well, I'll tell you. We're the ones in charge here, not the jukebox. It will bend to our will. Alright, let's take a look at this round thing. I know some of you have been wondering, what the heck is that round thing down there? I've had several guesses. And it's by the money box, so the chances are it's probably a coin. Let's shine the light down in there. Let me see. Yep, it is. Let me zoom in on it here. It is a wayward quarter. Look at there. Get down there. And, oh my goodness, there's a whole pile of wayward quarters down in here. Look at all of that. Not even in the box. We need to, let's dig all those out of there and find out how much cheaper this jukebox was. Look at that. How the heck does coins get accumulated like that in the corner of an old jukebox over the years? Alright, here's what was down in there. A quarter from 69, a 92, a 95, another 95, a 98. Here's a nickel from, what is that thing? Let me zoom in there. 99. There's a nickel from 99. See if we can get a date out of it now. 91. Well, how about that? Well, at least we know that this thing was, someone was trying to play this in 1998, so it must have functioned up until that time, or they tried to think it was functioning. So I've got $1, 25, 35, 45, $1.50, $1.55. In order to get the box out, I'm going to have to take out that screw in the center top up there, along the sides, along the bottom down here, and there's a bar that runs across the top. It has a nut on the side over there. There's probably some more screws on the other side. I wish I could get that door open. But that thing you see right there in that long slot, that's the locking bar. Well, they're all out except for this one right here. I'm going to have to, I'm slowly working this way out. This lock here is in the way of it. I can't quite get it out, so she's finally cleared it. Okay, she cleared it. Maybe I get it in my fingers now. When it comes to money, they make sure they put plenty of screws in. Now let's get that baby out. See what we can get. Well, well, well. Looks like we got us another quarter in there. Something else. I don't know what that is. Been in there a while though. Let's get the quarter. Can't even make it out. Huh. Might be a phony. I don't know. Maybe it's on the back. Oh, this is one of the newer ones. Okay. Okay, 19... What is that puppy? 1999. All right, 1999. Well, at least we know it was played up until then. Or at least somebody tried to play it till then. Let's see what this is down here. Man, that baby's been in there a while too. Woohoo! We'll open that up in a couple of seconds here. Check out the sign that was on the side of the money box. Junk. I like that. Now what they're talking about, air intake screens, they're talking about these things down here. They don't want anything covering them, so they have, I don't know why there would be air intake. There's no fan or anything. I guess it's just natural circulation or something. I don't know. Alright, we've got it on this pad on its back, and we're going to remove these corner things. And we're also going to remove this thing on the bottom here. And look at these wheels. These wheels are really, really good wheels. Really in excellent condition too. Really great ball bearing types. I like that. There's no flat spots. Well, we'll be taking those off and cleaning them up also. And but for now, I need to leave them on because I still need to move the box around, and I don't want to be dragging it around on this wood that's really in bad shape. We're going to have a lot of work to do on that wood. It's going to be an awful lot of gluing, awful lot of clamping, but so what? That's what we're here for, right? We're here to do that stuff. So meanwhile, let's get this stuff off. It's just one thing I wanted to show you. Let me get my pocket knife out here. You'll see here that these screw heads were really clogged up with crap. There was a lot of wax, a lot of stuff in there from people waxing the floor. There was rust and lint and dirt and everything. You don't want to be using your sticking your Phillips screwdriver in there unless all that stuff is cleaned out. You won't get a good bite on the head of the screw, especially if it's rusty. You'll just ream out that thing, and then you'll have to take a pair of vice grips or something to get it loose. You don't want to do that. Do your best to clean out the slot, whether it be Phillips or straight head. It doesn't matter. Get that crap out of there on every single screw. This one I've already cleaned. This one is in pretty good shape. The rest of these look good. Maybe this one could use a little cleaning. Get that stuff out. Anyway, do your best to get that out, you know. They would, you know, slather the mop with the wax underneath the machine without moving the machine, and it would build up on these screw heads. You know, even the young people in the old days were too lazy to move a jukebox, even though the wheels were in great shape. Well, I tell you what, there were some long screws holding that stuff on. They'll all have to be replaced. They're all rusty. Must be wifey again. Alright. There, came right off. Ha ha ha. Let's try the other side. It came right off. Boy, I'll tell you what, this stuff is grungy. Now, what about this? It's going to take me a while to work on this. Let me see what I can come up with. Well, I knew things were going along a little bit too smooth. This baby here does not want to come off. I don't know if they cemented it on. I don't know if there's screws from the inside that are holding it. We're going to have to tip this baby back up and hit it from the inside again. But I think what we'll do is let that slide until next time. We'll go ahead and wrap this video up here. And I hope you all enjoyed it one more time. You all wanted the detail. I try to give as much as I can without going completely bananas, okay? I don't like way overkill detail. It bores me to death. So anyway, until next time, this is John. Oops, once again, I don't know how I do this almost in every video. It's not intentional, believe me. I always just forget things. This is the painting that everybody voted for, that they wanted to see, that the wifey painted. You all voted for, you had 9 selections of paintings. This is the one you all elected that I should, you know, hang up in my new shop after it got completed. It was going to go over here, but then I realized I can't put that there. It would hog up all the shelving space. I needed shelving, not a picture there, so I put it here. At least I can glance up and look at it. It is a very nice painting. She did a good job on that. I think you all made a good choice. And then, of course, what we have here is old Mac. He likes Peanut. Peanut is Buzz's daughter's dog, and she sent a picture to Mac. And yet another thing I forgot. I know the rest of you were probably wondering, when is he going to do this? I plumb forgot about it already. I was so engrossed in the other stuff. It's this note that was, appears to be a note or a piece of paper, maybe a receipt or something. I would say it's probably instructions left by one money collector to the next guy. Something about the machine, maybe? I don't know. Let's open it up and see what we got here. That thing is really brittle. Been in there for years. What the heck?